The cat who loved to build castles. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town, nestled between green rolling hills and sparkling blue rivers, there lived a cat named Clover. Clover wasn't your ordinary cat. She didn't spend her days napping in the sun or chasing butterflies. Well, sometimes she did, but only after a long day of doing her favourite thing in the whole wide world, building castles. Clover's fur was the colour of fresh cream, with patches of gentle grey, like little clouds drifting across her back. Her eyes shone bright green, always curious and always dreaming. But what made Clover truly special was her imagination. While other cats might think about fish or yarn, Clover dreamed of towers and turrets, sparkling moats and grand sweeping drawbridges. Clover's love for building castles began one bright morning when she was just a kitten. She'd wandered into the garden and spotted a pile of old sticks, stones and leaves. With a twitch of her whiskers and a swish of her tail, she began to arrange them, stacking stones for walls, laying sticks for bridges, and weaving leaves into flags that fluttered in the breeze. When she was done, she stood back and admired her tiny creation, a castle fit for a queen. From that day on, Clover built castles everywhere she went. In spring, she sculpted grand palaces from dandelions and twigs. In summer, she constructed sandcastles at the edge of the sparkling lake, decorating them with mussel shells and shiny pebbles. When autumn came, she made leaf forts with golden crowns and sturdy walls, and in winter, she packed snow into icy fortresses, crowned with icicles that glimmered in the sun. But Clover didn't just build castles for herself. She loved to invite her friends, Milo the mouse, Penny the playful puppy, and Robin the red-breasted bird. Together, they'd imagine grand adventures, defending the castle from invisible dragons, hosting grand feasts in the banquet hall, or exploring secret passages hidden behind the throne room. One sunny afternoon, as Clover sat atop the highest turret of her latest sandcastle, she looked out over the garden and sighed. Her friends were busy with their own games, and there were no more castles left to build. Or so she thought. That's when she heard a quiet sobbing sound, drifting through the hedges. Curious, Clover followed the sound until she came upon a little hedgehog, curled up and sniffling behind a rose bush. Clover gently padded over and asked, "Hello there. Why are you so sad?" The hedgehog peeked out from behind his prickles. "I'm new here. I don't have any friends, and I miss my old home so very much. It had a big, beautiful castle made of stones and moss, and I loved to play there every day." Clover's heart melted. She knew just what to do. "Would you like to help me build a brand new castle?" she asked, her eyes shining with excitement. The hedgehog's eyes widened. "Could we? Really?" "Of course," Clover purred. "It'll be the best castle yet." Together, they gathered sticks and stones, moss and flowers. Clover showed the hedgehog how to stack the stones for sturdy walls and weave the flowers into fluttering banners. Soon, Milo, Penny, and Robin joined in, each bringing their own special touch. Milo tunneled secret pathways beneath the castle. Penny gathered bright red berries for decoration, and Robin sang cheerful songs from the highest tower. With every stone and every flower, the little hedgehog's smile grew wider and wider. When they finally finished, the castle stood tall and proud, its walls strong, its banners laughing in the wind. The hedgehog beamed. "It's perfect, even better than my old home." From that day on, Clover and her friends built hundreds of castles. Tall castles, tiny castles, round castles, square castles. Sometimes they built them for fun, sometimes for play, but often they built them for new friends who needed a place to belong. Clover learned that the best castles weren't made of just sticks and stones. The best castles were built with friends, laughter, and a little bit of imagination. And as the days passed, more and more animals joined Clover's castle-building crew. There was Lily the squirrel, who could leap from turret to turret, and Oliver the owl, who kept watch from above. Each new friend brought new ideas, and each new idea made their castles even more magical. One day, a gentle rain began to fall as the friends worked on a castle in the meadow. Instead of running for cover, Clover smiled and said, "Let's build a castle that can stand up to the rain." They worked together, stacking stones higher and weaving leaves more tightly. When the rain stopped, their castle still stood, glistening with raindrops like 1,000 tiny jewels. The friends cheered and danced around their sparkling creation. As the seasons changed, so did the castles. In spring, they built with fresh blossoms and soft new grass. In summer, they used driftwood and seashells from the riverbank. In autumn, pine cones and crunchy leaves became their bricks, and in winter, they sculpted forts from snow, their laughter echoing through the frosty air. Clover discovered that castles didn't always need to be big or grand. Some of her favourite castles were small, little hideouts tucked under bushes, cozy dens lined with moss. What mattered most was building them together, sharing stories and dreams within their walls. Years passed, and Clover grew wise and gentle. The little town became famous for its castles, and animals from near and far came to join in the fun. Each time a new friend arrived, Clover welcomed them with open paws and a promise. Together we'll build a castle like no other. And so the tradition continued. Every new friend brought a new idea, and every new idea made their castles more wonderful. The animals learned to work together, to listen, to share, and to celebrate each other's strengths. They learned that everyone had something special to offer, and that the best castles were built by many paws, wings, and tails working as one. Sometimes, Clover would sit quietly atop a finished tower, watching the sun set behind the hills. She'd remember the day she built her very first castle, and she'd smile, knowing that her love for building had brought so many friends together. And in every castle they built, you could find a tiny paw print pressed into the stone, a reminder that dreams, friendship, and a little bit of imagination can build the most magical castles of all. As the moon rose high and the stars began to twinkle, the garden quieted. Clover curled up in the soft grass. Her friends gathered round, and they gazed up at the night sky. The stars sparkled like diamonds, and for a moment, the whole world felt like a castle, safe, warm, and filled with endless possibilities. And so, in that little town between the hills and rivers, the cat who loved to build castles showed everyone that with kindness, creativity, and friends by your side, you can build a home wherever you go, and you can make every day a grand adventure. And if you ever visit that town, keep an eye out. You might spot a cream and grey cat with bright green eyes, stacking stones or weaving flowers, always dreaming, always building, and always ready to welcome a new friend to her castle. For in the heart of every castle, there's a bit of Clover's magic, a promise that together we can build something truly wonderful. And that, dear listener, is the story of the cat who loved to build castles.